So today, from today, I'm going to discuss about uh, the first of your the enzyme called amylase. So amylase is a very important enzyme for in our body. You know why? Because it actually hydrolyze. It actually hydrolyze the starch into sugar. Okay, you have starch every day. You are eating a lots of starch in the form of like your roti, chawal, and other thing. These things are actually containing starch, and that starch or that particular carbohydrate it will be hydrolyzed into sugar. Okay, so that thing are actually amylase are also present in your saliva. Saliva kahan pe? In your mouth. Okay, it can also that is hydrolysis of starch with the amylase in the first result in the formation of the polymer dextrin and then disaccharide maltose and finally glucose. Okay, so glucose is the ultimate ultimate source of energy in our body. So you can understand that how important this particular enzyme is. Those people having a shortage of amylase in their mouth cavity, they will be not able to digest properly, or they will be not able to convert their starch into sugar. Or if we tell in a more detailed manner, they will be not able to convert the disaccharide, that's maltose and glucose. Okay, so that's why amylase is very, 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 very important for our health. But yes, this is also a fact. Amylase is not only biologically important for our body. This is also important in industry also. This is also important in industry. Why? Because for the production of sweeteners, these amylase are also used. Then for the removal of various that is starch related stains. Okay, in your cloth, if you have a stain of starch, you can also remove that thing by using the amylase enzyme. Then for the liquefaction of starch paste, which are formed during the heating steps, okay, in the manufacturing of the corn and chocolate syrup, you can also use the same thing. And for the production of the bread and other removal of the food spot in the dry and cleaning industry, amylase can be also worked. Okay, so it is very much clear to you all that how and why amylase is a very important enzyme in our body. Including, I like to tell you that is a glucose. Glucose is not so much as sweet as your fructose. Okay, thus the next step should be conversion of glucose into fructose by the enzyme called glucose isomerase. So though it is not so much important, that's why I have not discussed, but for your knowledge, you can also take. The ultimately glucose is coming from where? Glucose is coming from basically starch, है ना? And that is actually converted by the enzyme called amylase. इस enzyme के माध्यम से जो है glucose actually get converted. So that's why it is very much important. Now, what are the types of amylase? You can categorize into two different ways, either based on their structure or either based on their location. So endo means within, and exo means out. So if the it is working in the within your cell or other thing, then it will get a endo, and otherwise it will exo. But in maximum cases, in maximum books, you will be getting the types are like alpha amylase, beta amylase, and gamma amylase. Okay, so let me just tell you a just detailed introduction about the alpha, beta, and gamma amylase. So I have a very interesting video. In this video, you'll be able to see that how and on what manner the alpha, beta, and gamma amylase are actually helping in breaking of your carbohydrate. So let me also add the system audio so that you can listen the audio also.
Amylases
You are listening the audio, no,
are
students?
produced in the salivary.
Sure.
Am-
Yes,
Amylases
sir.
are
Yes,
produced
sir.
in the salivary glands. Amylases are produced in the salivary glands and pancreas
These are the location where it is produced.
and help break down starch and glycogen.
Yeah, glycogen, one kind of starch. Okay.
Alpha amylases cleave glycogen into maltoses, 2 units, maltotrioses, 3 units, and small oligosaccharides, but cannot cleave terminal glucose monomers or branches.
That's the limitation of alpha amylase.
Beta
That's the beta
amylase
amylase.
cleaves maltoses from the ends of branches. Alpha-1,6-glucosidase cleaves alpha-1,6 linkages, removing branches from glycogen.
Okay. So I hope it is very much clear to you all that how your amylase are actually
Amyl-
working. Okay, so that's why I just try to give you a basic introduction of the alpha amylase. So this is also called 1,4 alpha D glucan, that is a glucan hydrolysis. Okay, this is the chemical name. So calcium metallo that enzymes which cannot function in the absence of the calcium ion. So it breaks down the carbohydrate chain into the amylose and amylopectin. Okay, and amylose is broken down into the yield called maltotriose and maltose molecules. And amylopectin is again broken down to yield limit dextrin and glucose molecules. Okay, so you can see ultimately we are actually getting glucose. Whatever the breaking actually happen, ultimately we are getting glucose. It is also found in the saliva and pancreas, and it is also found in various plants, fungi, then your various bacteria like Bacillus subtilis, because it can act anywhere on the substrate. So alpha amylase tend to be fast acting than beta amylase. In the video we also have seen, you know, that alpha amylase can tend faster because it is working in the all the on the side chain or side area of the glucose, not in the terminal, in basically end terminal. So in animal, it is a major digestive enzyme. Okay, its optimum pH is 6.7 to 7. Okay, it means in that is a low acidic condition or weak acidic condition or your normal neutral pH, it can work better. So this is the picture of alpha amylase. So here you might be observing that I have written the PDB ID 1BAG. This one code. So whatever the picture you are observing here, whatever the picture you're observing here, this actually you can see in 2D, but in molecules they are actually present in 3D. Okay, so if you are interested, there is one application. If you are listening this lecture from laptop, you can open your mobile. You can download one application from Play Store called iMole View. If you open iMole View and if you put this code, you will be getting this picture. Okay, then you will be able to see that how the enzyme is actually organized. Okay, so you have to download this iMolekule. Let me just share the link with you so that you can download easily. I'm sharing the link on your chat box. I hope you have received the link in your chat box. If you click on this link, if you are using Android mobile, then you'll be automatically go to the Play Store and you'll be able to download this particular application called iMole View. In that iMole View, you can see this particular enzyme in 3D. Right now we are observing in 2D, you know? You can see it in 3D. This is for your interest. If you are interested, then you may go for this. Now another thing, this is called beta amylase. This is called 1,4 alpha D glucan maltohydrous, and this is synthesized by the bacteria, fungi, and plant. This is also available in our that is pancreas and other areas also. And working from non-reducing end beta amylase catalysis, the hydrolysis of the second, that is alpha 1, and that is alpha 1 4 glycosidic bond cleaving to of glucose unit, that is maltose. Whatever I have seen in that video, basically that thing I am trying to tell you here. So during the ripening of the that is a fruit, the beta amylase take starts into the maltose. Okay, जब भी तुम्हारी fruits जो है ना वो जब पकते हैं, that time it is actually playing a role. It actually breaks the starch into maltose and resulting the sweet flavor of the ripe fruit. Okay, and it optimum that is a pH will be 4 to 5. You can see this is working better in acidic condition. This is a picture. This is the 2D picture. You can get the 3D. If you want to see in 3D, same. You can use iMole View, one of the application, and you have to put this ID 1BAG. No, this is another. I will tell you what is there will be another ID. Now gamma amylase, again its name is the glucan 1,4 alpha, that is a glycosidase. So in maximum cases you can see 1,4 alpha. Previous one also 1,4 alpha. है ना? In amylase also 1,4 alpha. So 1,4 alpha is common, and D was there in previous to alpha and beta, and the for gamma D was not there, only glycosides. So you can remember in that manner the alpha, beta, and gamma amylase. So what it is actually doing? It actually cleaves with the glycosidic linkage as well as the last factor, last alpha 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage, and it is at the non-reducing end of the amylose and the amylopectin, yielding of the glucose. So the gamma amylase has most acidic optimum pH, and all amylases because of their most active in the pH of 3. So you are very much clear after watching this all the three different types of amylase. Your alpha amylase is actually working better in neutral condition. Beta amylase is working better in the 4 to 5 pH. Hola, acidic. Amylase is better work in 3 pH 3 means highly acidic. So that's the difference between these three different amylase, alpha, beta, and gamma. You can see here is the picture. So do you have no need to worry. In exam, you have no need to write this kind of picture. But if you can, then it is also very good. But as Eketu told, the exam will be happen online. So I don't think there are chances that you have to write the exam. You have to write the this thing called picture in your exam. Anyway, so I hope it is very much clear to you all about the differences between alpha, beta, and gamma amylase. Now let me tell you how you will produce the amylase. What is the way of production? Lecture. Somebody was calling me, it's disturbing. Okay, so what I was clearly trying to tell you. Acha, is it clear to you all students? Whatever I've discussed as of now, amylase, अभी तक जितना discuss किया, I have given you a basic introduction about amylase, how it is working, its various types, alpha, beta, and gamma. And now I have to tell you the production. Is it clear to you all? Whatever I've discussed as of now, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, great. चलो अभी जानते हैं कि how it is actually we are supposed to be produced. So in my previous lecture, I have told you again and again that you can, for the production of the enzyme, you can go either the submerged method or you can go with the solid state fermentation. Do you remember that thing? There are two different ways, either submerged or either solid state. Let me just, oh, what a minute. So in this process for the production of amylase, either you can go submerged or you can go the solid state fermenter. Now what is submerged? Very simple. मैंने क्लास में पूछा था तुम लोगों से, what is the meaning of submerged? You people told कि सर कोई भी चीज जो है जब वो डूबा रहता है, when it will be under the water or any liquid, submerged. Similarly, in this case, our microbial organism, our all the nutrients and all the cofactor, whatever the things are required, nutrients, cofactor, microorganism, those things will be submerged under water. In this case, in case of your solid state fermentation, the things will be not beneath the water. There will be no water, basically, there will be moisture. There will be no water, but there will be moisture. Moisture will help for the growth of the particular or bacteria. Okay. So in this chart, you can very easily observe that is submerged way of fermentation, cell separation is happening. Then one biomass actually producing and it is coming as a compost. And if when you after a completion of your fermentation, ma'am lecture में ma'am lecture. अच्छा ठीक है. So what I was actually telling you, that when you will complete your submerged fermentation, there will be cell separation, biomass will be created, biomass will be eliminated. Now, what is biomass? Biomass कुछ नहीं है, बहुत simple है. You are actually using microbes. You have used various nutrients. What will be produced here? Enzyme will be produced. So apart from enzyme, whatever the things will be remaining, especially the bacteria and other cells, when you will remove all those things, this will be called as a biomass. And when we will purify that thing, the cell-free supernatant, and then enzyme concentrate will come, and then it will be stabilize the enzyme. So this is very simple process. There are very less, only fewer steps are actually involved in submerged fermentation. You know, only few steps are actually involved. But in case of solid state fermentation, there are multiple steps are involved. Extraction, separation, then again you come here. If any supernatant is present, then again you are going to okay. There are multiple steps are actually involved in solid state fermentation. Now, let me tell you just with a very short, that is a description, that production of MLS is actually in the economical bulk in the capacity. Whatever the capacity you have, you will make it. And microbes are very easy to be actually used. Why? Because they are very easy to manipulate. They are very easy to manipulate. Okay, and microbial enzymes meet the industrial demands for large number of them, which are actually available economically. Now here I have told again and again about the microbial stain, and I also told you that why we are actually microbes. Now the question is which microbe we may use. There are multiple microbes actually used. One of the famous species actually Bacillus or Aspergillus. So you can use either Bacillus subtilis or Bacillus, any of the species of Bacillus, or you can use Aspergillus. Okay, these are used in the application of the food, brewing, textile, detergent, and in the pharmaceutical industry. Including in your that thing called detergent production, they are applied to improve the cleaning effect, and also using in the starch and desaging the textile industry. Desaging means removing the staining. Okay, and mainly employed for the starch liquefaction, the process of the dispersion of insoluble starch in aqueous solution. Okay, so process is very simple. You're going to take any of those microbes, whatever actually I have actually mentioned here. You have to take any of the microbes, Aspergillus niger or other things. Then either you can go with the submerged fermentation, or you may go with the solid state fermentation. In both the cases, ultimately you are getting the cell-free supernatant. In this case, you have to remove the biomass and you will be getting the compost. And in this case, you actually extract and you are actually separating all those things. You are extracting the enzyme and separating all these other things like nutrients and whatever the things are remaining. Then you are getting the enzyme concentrate, and then you are actually solubilizing that and stabilizing that enzyme, and you are getting the ultimately enzyme product. So this is the production of the particular MLS. Now, if I tell you one by one, step by step, this is very simple. So I already told you, you can use Bacillus, the species. So this is the detailed discussion, detailed slide. You can also write in your exam. So you will be keeping all those things for 10 days with nutrients. You have Bacillus subtilis microorganism, which you are going to isolate from soil, and you will maintain that thing in the nutrient agar medium, agar slant, for 10 days in subculture condition. Okay, then you have to make the inoculum. I think you are aware about what is inoculum, inoculation. You have learned in your microbiology in 5th semester, 3rd semester, I think. So you are going to inoculate in fermentation medium. So it will be done by the sterile distilled water, freshly brewed in the agar slant, whatever already I have told here. And in that, you have to add 0.5 cell suspension. Okay, inoculate to 100 ml. And sterilize the fermentation medium, incubate for 35° centigrade for 10 hours. Now, for that media, what will be the things will be there? There will be these things: bacteriological peptone, magnesium sulfate, potassium chlorate, and starch. Okay, you should not be so much confused. ये जो process है बहुत simple है. बहुत ही सिंपल है. What you did, let me just remove my ink. Let me tell you again. What you did, first you've taken the microbe, this thing. You have taken the microbe and you have kept that microbe with various nutrient media. Okay, तुमने जो है पे बहुत से nutrient media के साथ इसको रखा for at least 10 days. In second step, what you did, you have made the inoculum. Okay, and you have added all these various ingredient here. It will be kept there for a certain period of time, and then your particular enzyme will be produced. I'll tell you more in this section. Acha, after the production, you have to extract that thing. I have mentioned here extraction of amylase from the fermentation medium. So after the incubation, fermentation medium actually harvested for centrifugal 5,000 RPM. RPM means revolution per minute. So it will be look like this. जो fermentation होगा ना जिस vessels में वो कुछ ऐसा दिखेगा. It will be looks like this. एक pedal होगा. It will be this pedal will be moving. Pedal जो है वो घूमता रहेगा और in that particular the vessel there will be water, there will be all these things, including your microorganism. And what will happen? Microorganism will eat all the nutrients and it will be produce your that enzyme. Okay, and the pedal whatever is present here, it will be move here up to 5,000 RPM, revolution per minute. 5,000 RPM में जो है वो घूमेगा at that is at 4 degrees centigrade. ठीक है? And then you will be collecting your supernatant, and there are some effect of pH, effect of temperature. So it varying in different pH, like your 5, 6, and 7. So whatever the amylase is actually producing. So the fermentation prepared media actually it is prepared in different in a various pH values. And there are effective temperature also, like 25 degree, 30 and 40, 35 and 40. So at different temperature, we're actually submerging our that particular fermentation. So that you will be getting your that enzyme. And yes, after getting the enzyme, after producing the enzyme, you have to also analyze. You have to confirm na, whether actually amylase was prepared or something else. So the amylase activity actually determined by called Barnfield method. Why Barnfield method? An assay mixture containing the enzyme extract and starch as a substrate, and DNSA as a couple reagent actually use. DNSA actually one of the reagent. You'll be using that thing. It will be give you the confirmation that yes, amylase actually present and amylase is actually successfully prepared. So 1 unit of amylase activity was defined as the number of micromoles of maltose liberated by 1 ml of the enzyme solution per minute. Okay, so this is very simple. I think today for the first time you are listening. That's why it might be slightly different. But whatever I told you in my previous lectures, you may just recall. You may just recall this chart. You may just recall this chart, and you may correlate the same chart with this thing. It become very easy. Okay. Any questions from from your side? Otherwise, I'll start a new enzyme called catalase. There are 4 or 5 different enzymes. And as your exams are nearby, so our director sir has asked me that is there any extra classes are required? So I told yes, extra classes are actually required. And I have some good news for you. Whatever actually I'm teaching you, na, many of the things you will be finding in upcoming units. हमारे पास unit है ना, right now we're actually in unit 1. So in your upcoming units like unit 5, there are 2 topics in unit 5. That topic already actually I have covered in unit 1. Okay, so तुम लोगों के लिए कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा. So अभी तुम लोग मान के चलो we have actually covered 2 units, including unit 3, unit 4 and unit 5. There are some topics in unit 4 and unit 5. That topics we already covered in our first unit. I'll tell you, don't worry. Okay, so अभी के लिए तुम लोग टेंशन मत लो, मान के चलो कि we have already covered 2 units. और बाकी I hope sir will give me some chance to make more lectures, to take more lectures, and your syllabus will be completed with a great manner. And I believe that तुम लोग बहुत अच्छे से जो है अपना एग्जाम के लिए तुम लोग प्रिपेयर करोगे and you will have a very good exam. Okay. Anyway, so any questions, students, from your side up to the topic that I have covered? या तो कुछ सवाल है तुम लोगों के? समझ में आया जो डिस्कस किया? निशिता, ऋषभ, तपेश, रेशमी, शुभम, शिवानी, प्रवीण, I can see.
Yes, sir.
समझ में आया ऋषभ? हाँ ठीक है, thank you
Yes.
पिंकी. Okay, great. चलो, let me move forward. Let me tell you another enzyme. So today I have started with the first enzyme. First enzyme called amylase. है ना? पहले enzyme जिससे start किया आज मैंने lecture वो था amylase. Within amylase there are three different enzyme. Three different enzyme. Oh, sorry. Some. Let me share the PPT again. Yeah, within amylase, there are three different types of amylase: alpha, beta, and gamma. And then I have told you how you will produce amylase. Now let me tell you about the catalyst. What is catalyst and how you will produce in industry the catalyst enzyme. So the catalyst enzyme, it converts the hydrogen peroxide into water. Hydrogen peroxide is to, oh sorry. Let me take my pen. Hydrogen peroxide means H2O2. So catalyst enzyme, it will convert this H2O2 into that is a water called H2O and oxygen. So this is a very good enzyme because this is actually converting H2O2 into H2 and water. So this is a very good enzyme. Can you imagine if H2O2 may remain in our body for a long period of time, then what will happen? Obviously, you will say that yes, sir, we will be having some disease or some problem if it may remain in our body for a longer period of time. So the bacteria contain this enzyme usually are that is called aerobic bacteria and facultative anaerobes. Okay, this is the picture of the catalase enzyme. This is called dimer. You can see this thing and this thing both are similar. And both the enzymes are similar. This is called dimer actually. This thing. Now there is very famous test called catalase test. So the test actually used to detect the presence of the enzyme catalase in the bacteria. If a bacteria is containing this catalase enzyme, actually bacteria are actually playing big role. Bacteria are actually converting H2O2 into H2O and water, H2 and water. Oxygen. Yeah, H2 and oxygen. So do you know there are lots of stories. I have also to cover the syllabus. That's why it is very difficult for me to tell you all these stories. During our human evolution, समुद्र में जब पहले एक बैक्टीरिया बना ना, तो बैक्टीरिया ने जानते हो क्या किया? There are lots of H2O2. It has converted that H2O2 into water and oxygen. That's why इस दुनिया में जो है जो हम लोग देख पा रहे हैं life actually existing because of the bacteria. Bacteria played a very big role. Okay, now whatever I'm actually telling you, this story, the test that's called catalyst test. So the catalyst test usually used for the detection of the catalyst enzyme in the bacteria. What purposes? For the identification of the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. I hope you can remember what is called gram-positive and what is called gram-negative. In gram-negative bacteria, its cell wall will be much more thicker. If it is bacteria, its cell wall, the outer side actually cell wall. The cell wall will be very much thicker. In gram-positive bacteria, it has the cell wall will be very much thinner. That's why gram-negative bacteria are creating more diseases. जितने भी diseases तुम लोग देखते हो, maximum of the diseases are actually produced by the gram-negative bacteria. So it is a primary test used in the differentiation of your staphylococci and streptococci. One is gram-positive and one is gram-negative, and also available in the differentiating the aerobic and obligate anaerobic. Okay, so you can differentiate by this process. So how in industry, how you will produce? The process is very simple. We will take the microorganism, that is bacteria. There will be a certain amount of water. That water will be converted into moisture, and you are going to use the solid state fermentation. Okay, some water bed will be also there, blending will be also there, and remaining enzymes, whatever they produce, it will come here. It will hydrolyze, and After breed hydrolyze, fermentation, and then you'll be getting the product, particular that enzyme. Okay, the catalase enzyme we are going to get. Very simple. This process is catalase. There is another very important enzyme called actually peroxidase. So this is also very much important for you to know. So how much time I have? Okay, I also have 10 minutes. So peroxidase, this is a picture of the peroxidase enzyme. So peroxidase or peroxide reductase are actually commonly breaking the peroxide. Okay, these are actually used for the treatment of the industrial water. If you go in future in industry, you will be observing that there are lots of industrial wastewater. In industry, when you produce some tablet, capsule, syrup, lots of water were actually releasing from the industry. It might be good, it might be bad, it might be harmful for our health or anything. So that your industrial water for the treatment for make the water good or make the water not harmful for the others, we're actually using this enzyme. For example, like phenol. You know, phenol is not so much helpful for us. Acha, do you know what is the another name of phenol? Some acid. If you keep phenol in your home, then snakes will be snakes will not come into your home. Do you know carbolic acid, Rishabh?
Sir.
हाँ कार्बोलिक एसिड जो है ना उसका ही दूसरा नाम है फिनॉल. So if your children and small babies are actually taking some phenol in their hand, so it will be create some disturbance and there will be some burning effect. So that's why phenol is actually slightly toxic, and it is also one of the pollutant. Okay, that can be also removed by the enzyme, catalyzed by the polymerization using the called your horse dish peroxidase. Okay, this peroxidase enzyme you can use to break the phenol. In industry, if in any cases phenol is actually being produced, then you can use this thing. Phenols are actually also actually oxidized to phenoxyradical, which participate in the reaction where polymers and oligomers are actually produced that are less toxic than phenol. Okay, and it can also convert the toxic material into less harmful substances. I already told you that if phenol is actually made or prepared, you can break the phenol into the non-toxic substances. There are many investigation about the use of peroxidase in many of the manufacturing process like adhesive, computer chip, car parts, lining of drum and can. In those areas, you can also use this kind of enzyme for peroxidase. Other studies have shown that peroxidase may be also used successfully in the polymerization, the aniline and phenol in organic solvent matrix. Okay, peroxidase are sometimes used as a histological biomarker also. Cytochrome C peroxidase are also used as a soluble and easy purified model in the cytochrome C oxidase. This is one of the biological application in your higher studies when you will be doing the cytochrome P based metabolism based experiments. You're going to use that thing. Okay, so let me remove all the inks. So this is very simple. The main purpose of the peroxidase is that it will break your the peroxides. It will break the phenol and it will make the less toxic phenol. Okay, and it can convert the toxic material into non-harmful substances. Nowadays, because of the advancement of technology, you can use. Scientists are trying to use the that phenol and other thing. Sorry, peroxidase in computer chip and other different areas. So how you will produce? Now the question is how you will produce the peroxidase. So for that you need to use bacteria. You have to use bacteria. You have to isolate first the bacteria, then you have to identify that yes, particular the bacteria is actually producing the peroxidase. Then you have to go for the endospore staining. Then you have to pure the culture preparation. Then you have to do some biochemical test. Like there are various tests like mannitol fermentation test, methyl red, that is called Voges Porkis test, MRVB, MRVP, that starch hydrolysis, gelatin hydrolysis test, and casein hydrolysis test. You can perform all these tests. After that, you have to screen the bacillus subtilis for the production of peroxidase. and then to observe that appearance of the pink color, which is if it is pink color is positive, then yes, peroxidase are actually produced by the bacteria. Okay, and after that, you have to produce the media, the expression of media of the peroxidase, then enzyme extraction, and at the last you have to assay the crude peroxidase enzyme. Assay means just you have to check that whether this enzyme is good or bad, whether this enzyme actually pure or impure. Okay, so that's it about the basic understanding of the peroxidase enzyme. I have other enzymes like lipase, then protease, and penicillinase. So should I discuss about other enzymes on today, or I will discuss on tomorrow? What you may, what is your opinion, students? I have only, okay, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Rishabh, what should I do? Should I discuss or अगले लेक्चर में बात करूं? चल later. चलो ठीक है. कल है ना लेक्चर? Tomorrow I have lecture students. तो मुझे याद नहीं है टाइम टेबल. मुझे याद भी नहीं रहता.
तो फ्राइडे है मे बी.
फ्राइडे है तब तो पढ़ाना चाहिए. नहीं एक्चुअली तब तो बहुत लेट हो जाएगा ना. थर्सडे तो लेक्चर नहीं है. एक काम करते हो ऋषभ, इतना बड़ा नहीं है, बहुत ही छोटा ही है. ठीक है, मैं एटलीस्ट इसको कंप्लीट कर देता हूँ लाइफ इसको. तो बहुत सिंपल है, बहुत ही सिंपल है ये जो एंजाइम है. तो देखो हम लोगों ने अब तक क्या क्या देखा, एक बार रिकैप कर लेते, बिकॉज जब बहुत सारा चीज हम एक साथ पढ़ते हैं तो हमारे दिमाग में याद नहीं रहता. एक बार रिकैप कर लेते. हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं कि हाउ यू कैन प्रोड्यूस एंजाइम. दीस आर वेरियस एंजाइम्स, amylase, catalase, peroxidase, lipase, protease. These are various enzymes जिनके बारे में हम पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं. हम लोग जो यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी देख लिए इनका क्या क्या फंक्शन है, कहाँ से हमें ये सारा कुछ मिलेगा, एंड व्हाट आर द एप्लीकेशंस, है ना, और डिटेल्स में मैंने यहाँ पे बताया था. Then I have told you about the history of the enzymes in microbes in the enzyme production. Then I have told you the flowchart, how enzymes you can produce, the flowchart, what are the process. I also showed you some video. After discussing this entire the flowchart, I have started with the various enzymes like amylase. I told you what is amylase. Its various types, alpha, beta, and gamma, and its production, how you can produce amylase. Then I have started the discussion with the catalase. What is catalase and how you can produce. Then I have started the discussion with the peroxidase, the third enzyme. What is peroxidase? Where it is actually using and how you can produce. So बाकी और तीन enzyme है, lipase, protease, and penicillinase. So let me just take to you a very basic introduction about the lipase. देखो lipase जो enzyme है बहुत interesting enzyme because this enzyme actually splits the fat into mono and diglyceraldehyde and fatty acid. अच्छा, तुम लोगों में से कितने लोग हो जो those are actually regularly doing gym or other physical activities? Anybody? Please raise your hands if you are doing any kind of yoga, gym or physical activities. Yeah, Pragya, Viksit, Saurabh. Very good, very good. Shabash, Pinky, Tapesh, very good. Shabash, very good, very good. So all of you are very fit, and I am happy that in my class I have very good number of students who are basically doing yoga and rather physical exercise regularly. Very good. So but let me confess, when I was a student like you, तब मैं भी जो है बहुत जिम विम जाता था. But suddenly पता नहीं क्या हुआ, since last few years I am not so much active in exercise, but nowadays I am trying to make me fit. So the biggest problem for me is burning my fat into this thing, diglyceraldehyde and fatty acid, so that I can become fit. Because the only enzyme that is actually splitting the fat into various things, diglyceraldehyde and fatty acid, this is the lipase enzyme. So lipase enzyme is very much important for people like me. And those are also becoming fatty in your this lockdown period by that is studying from home. So after giving a very interesting introduction, let me tell you that lipase are actually also called as a visceral ester hydrolysis because they are the subclass of the esterase, and they are actually extracellular enzyme. They are not producing within the enzyme; they are extracellular. They're mainly produced by the fungi like Aspergillus, Mucor, Rhizophore, and Penicillium. Okay, and bacteria producing the lipase are actually include the species of the like Pseudomonas, Archaeobacter, and Streptococcus. You can use these various species of the bacteria. Some yeast are also actually producing this kind of enzyme like your Tropolosis, Candida. These are also used. So you might have seen that some doctors are actually prescribing some which is a fat burning enzymes. They are basically prescribing lipase, nothing else. Okay. What is the process? What how you will produce the lipase? So I already told you that you can use various microorganism like, let me take my pen. You can use various microorganism like various bacteria and various fungus, various fungi. No? Yeah, here I have told you. So that thing, including your bacteria and fungi, you can use various oil also, and you can use various that is carbohydrate also, and you can give the yeast extract and other thing unity in the incubator. So there it will be the inducer, carbon source, and your other thing. And after that, some chemical factor will be also responsible for particular that purposes. There will be fermentation will happen. Solid state fermenter, SSF, solid state fermenter. And then after filtration and centrifugation, you'll be getting the optimized lipase production. Some of the thing, the hydrolytic and synthetic application you can use, and that thing will be purified and characterized. Yes, there are some factors are also responsible in the production of the that into lipase. What are the factors? One factor is called chemical factor. Another factor is called physical factor. Chemical factor, the media components. What are the media you're actually using? Like the media you're using the lipase, etc., etc. Physical factor like screening, staining, inoculum, immobilization, and the reaction filtration, including your the temperature, pH, agitation, etc. will be responsible. These are various factors. So the process is very simple. You have to take some microorganism, you have to give some media, which will become under chemical factor, and you have to follow the solid state fermenter, SSF. And then you have to go with the filtration, centrifugation, and at the last optimization. And then after purification and characterization, you'll be getting the enzyme. Very simple. Okay. So I hope तुम लोगों का भी अच्छा लगा होगा और तुम लोगों ने कुछ नए चीज सीखे होंगे आज from my lecture. Okay, let me also break down whatever I have told you in a very summarized manner. So the first process is the isolation and screening of the lipase producing microorganism. Already you are aware the bacteria and fungi you can use as a microorganism. Then you have to go for the production and the media development, that is submerged culture, and then purification and kinetics. Whatever I told you here, whatever I told you, same thing actually I am mentioning here in a detailed manner, in a step-by-step manner. And thermostability and shear stress tolerance. Acha, this thing, thermostability of lipase, shear stress tolerance, what are these things? Sir, this kya hai? These are basically the characterization. I have mentioned characterization. This thing, characterization. You have to characterize कि yes, actual जो है lipase जो है produce हुआ. Okay, when you will do this kind of test, you will be getting some features, some results. That results will be the similar result with the lipase. Okay, the actual lipase. So these are some characterization test.